I see that I'm still back online. Everything looks good. I am preparing to do a lot of things to my garden in a few more months, but I can't believe I'm already. I'm very much excited. I'm very much excited. So much fun. We have. I'm looking into my security cameras now. It's not snowing or raining tonight so far. But looking forward to buying some seeds this evening. I'm actually on my other computer buying seeds. Now let me see. I go to eBay. A lot of people don't remember eBay, but I do still remember it. And I look up seeds. I go in and I look up seeds because if I wait, like I was saying earlier in the videos, if I wait till spring, seeds are going to be through the roof as far as cost is concerned. And now I'm looking at straight 8 cucumber seeds, $2. They don't give you a lot of information unless you go, ooh, okay, peppers. Oh, these are big gems. New Mexican, Mexico, excuse me, New Mexico big gem pepper seeds. Let's see how much these are. $2.29 for a pack of 100 seeds. I got to tell you something about this pepper. Yeah, a big gem is a elongated. It looks like a chili pepper. It's elongated. It's a mild hotness to it, um, and it's a beautiful looking pepper. But it grows extremely large, transferring from green to um, red color. I love it. Now here they got it for $2.29, free shipping, and this is seed quantity 100 seeds, and that's quite a few seeds. Now what I did here, um, I bought these seeds uh, 2 years ago, and these seeds are just as I just let the plant grow. The pepper turned red, and once the peppers turned red, I collected the seeds. I let them dry out, package them up, put the date on them, and that's how I do it. So I have hundreds of these seeds now. And then I have let's see what this is here. 10 plus black form tomato seeds. They got all kind of tomato seeds here. And then they got one guy here got something called giant tomato seeds, 30 of them for $1.95. Um, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I remember this guy. This guy is known for growing giant vegetables. Now, just because it's him, I would like to buy seeds from him just because it's him. That's his picture. This tomato has to weigh close to what I'm looking at here, 4 pounds. Now let me see if I can get this picture up there. Nope. Nope. Are you there? That's amazing. I have a phone in my hand, but it disappears when I hold it up here. I don't know why it does that. Food Fathers Permaculture. Hello, how you doing? Greetings, fellow Earthling. I got my computer working again. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well. Sometimes I forget because all I do is work, come home, and that's it. I got to get back out there and start singing again. I enjoy that very much. But this is a giant tomato seeds, heirloom variety, it says here, packaged 2025, that's what they for, non-GMO. Oh, okay, let's see, Merry Christmas. Yeah, singing. Yeah, you're definitely right. I should get out there and sing. Oh my goodness. I see, agree. Welcome back. Thank you very much. Welcome back. They put right there. I appreciate that. They heard about my situation, and I appreciate people that they remember me. Good to see you, Morning Garden. Thank you very much. Food Fathers Permaculture. I tell you, he's a person that's I've known on the computer for many years. Yeah, I can say that, many years. I've known him, and he's always out there showing people how to grow food. But now I think his job is going to get busier because now people will desperately be trying to get to all of these information sites, especially his, and get information on how do I grow this? How can I grow my own apples? Because I go to the store and one apple's like $2.50. How can I do this? How can I do that? And they're going to be wanting the information, and that is going to be information that's important to get. Now I'm looking at this right now. Okay, free shipping. How many seeds? 30 giant tomato seeds, 30 of them. $1.49. You know I'm gonna order that, right? All because of the picture of the guy that's in the picture. He's known for growing um, big squash that are like 60 pounds and heavier. He's known for that. But they use this picture to market the fact that he has something to do with these seeds. Let's see, can I put it right there? Will it work? So I'm holding it up there, but nobody can see it. Why can't you see? Oh, there it is. If I hold it here, you can see it. Can you see them, folks? Can you see the big tomato? 2 or 3 clusters joined together. And I don't have these seeds, and I want these seeds. And I think, well, let's see. Yeah, I think I'll order them. Buy 4.49 cents. Oh, okay. Buy 1 pack, $1.89. I can afford that. I can afford that, folks. I think I can. Nice tomato. Thank you very much, Food Fathers. You saw it. Welcome to welcome to you. Start with soil and wait a minute. I wanted to ask you something, Food Fathers Permaculture, in a second. I want to read through all the information, but I say you're a good man, Morning God. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. Food Fathers Permaculture is just he's just giving me all these compliments. I appreciate that because they told me that it's okay. Let me just tell you real quick, get this out of my system. They told me that I had passed away from the accident. I passed away for a few minutes. That's what they told me. And they told me also that even my doctor looked at the report. My what they call a main doctor, or your doctor that you see on a regular. And when I got out of the hospital, I went to see her, and she said, "Wow!" That's what she looked at my chart and said, because she saw where everything was broke and everything. Even the firefighters, I met one, two, three. I met three of the firefighters that rescued me that night, and they said, "I said, I said to the firefighter, did you see how tore up the car was?" He said, "No. Did you see how tore up you were?" He said, "You were tore up." And for him to say that, uh, they know what they're talking about because they see this kind of thing all the time. And he said, "You were pretty tore up that night." And when I got in the hospital, it's just they were telling me all the stuff that was broken and punctured, and lungs and heart and things that were punctured all over the place. And I was like, "Oh my God!" But uh, it took a long time to recover. Now I'm walking now, but right now I'm walking with a cane. But at first I couldn't walk at all. I could not walk at all. Uh, so happy that you are alive and healthy. Thank you. Thank you very much, Food for Thought Permaculture. Thank you. Because, um, but here's the amazing thing about it. I think it's totally, absolutely amazing. I don't remember any of it. I don't remember any of it. They told me that sometimes that happens to a person that's in a, a bad car accident, is that they sometimes they don't remember anything. I don't remember anything of it. They said it was brain bleeds and things like that, and it was I was losing blood and they didn't know why or where, and they was just looking for all kind of stuff to keep me alive. And they did emergency surgery on me that night, and nobody came to the hospital, took any videos or anything. They took one snapshot, and that was it. And I saw myself laying there in the bed, and all these tubes and everything hanging out everywhere. And I said, "Oh my goodness, that's me." Then I got to see the police officers body cam shots when they came to the to the car that night, looking at me. I was laying back in the car. I actually looked dead when I looked at the um, thing there. But anyway, let's get off of that. Let's get off of that. It took me a long time to recover from that, not just physically, but also mentally. It affects you mentally when you're in a car accident. So happy that you are alive and healthy. Thank you so much, Food for Us Permaculture. Look at that. Uh, here's what I want to say to Food for Us Permaculture. Now I want you to think about this, because this is something I'm going to try, and I want to do it because um, I got a strong feeling about it. Now, everything about what I do with the garden is always, sometimes some people call it experimental. I don't call it that. I call it let's try to mimic nature. But when you put a shovel in the ground, say 2 to 3 inches, and flip over that sod, which is usually weeds and grass, and you flip it over and lay it back down on the ground, what it will you will see is soil, and you will see roots, and plant your seed right into that. Now, as the grass that's been flipped over is face down on the ground, it's going to start to do decay, producing a warmth, and also it's going to produce a nutrients, because it's going to be attacked and eaten by the soil biology. I mean, a ton of activity happening right there at the root base where you putting your plants on. Now, what I'm going to do is put my plants on. I'm going to put my plants on and lay them, either a plant that's already been started. I was starting the top of what I just flipped over, and or seeds, and I will put a total of at least 3 seeds into the soil. And the seeds that I'm going to put in the soil will be seeds that are um, whatever seed I decide to put in. So they will grow based on nutrients that is in the soil, that is compost. I'm gonna use it, cover everything over. Sifted compost. I just want to sift the compost for the hell of it. Sift the compost and put it over top. Water it in and watch it grow. Now, uh, uh, winter sowing is a technique I like to use as well. I like to put the container out there and put the medium in it and get the seed started early, because the great thing about winter sowing is this, uh, that I've learned from my experience. You don't have to put in anything dealing with using electricity, uh, heat mats, and all that stuff. You don't have to do that. Once you put the jug out there, cut it in half, put the medium in it, tape it back together with the gray tape, and leave the lid off of the top. Rain will come in there. You got some holes under the bottom, and so water will run right through, right through. As soon as the environment is uh, warm enough, the seeds will start to germinate and grow. They won't do it until it's time for them to grow. That's the great thing about winter sowing. And putting the containers out there. I mean, you could lay out there a block of, you could put them out there and they could get covered with snow. They could thaw out later. However you want to look at it, they will not sit out there, and you need to baby them. You won't have to take care of them all, because everything I've ever grown with winter sowing is when I look out there one day, I see the green start coming up in the containers, and I watch them. And when they get tall enough where I see they grow their first set of leaves, I start untaping those containers. I could put them in a pot and let them start growing, or I could leave them there long enough to be able to put them in the ground. Once I put them in the ground where they're going to actually be growing at, they do quite well. I don't have to worry about hardening them off, because I've already had them in an environment where they harden off naturally when it time calls for them to harden off. And that's why I like winter sowing. I use clear containers that are milk containers, juice containers, things like that. Um, and I could use water bottles and stuff like that, but they're a little bit too small for me. So I like to use gallon jugs, or I lose half-gallon jugs, and I just cut them, like I said, cut them and leave a little hinge on this end. So I flip them over, put the seeds in, cover them over with a little bit of compost, and close it down, and it grows absolutely. It's strong and it's sturdy as the seeds you buy from Bernie's. That's how well they grow. And I looked at the price last year of one single pepper plants from Bernie's was close to $5. I will not give anybody $5 for one plant unless it's something completely rare and unique. But I like the plants that I am uh, getting from winter sowing and buying them the seeds from the stores, and like I said, I like to buy the seeds before it gets right into spring, because I see people go in there. They're buying a pack of seeds that are $5 a pack. Um, they're buying seeds with pretty pictures of plants on them and pretty gardeners on it. Are very wealthy individuals. They're showing down there. Margaret, whatever her name is, Stewart. She's on a pack, and the price is $5 a pack, and that's for one seed. That's for one type of seed. Could be tomatoes, and that's how they're doing it. I refuse to do that. Now here is a pack of seeds I'm getting ready to get. I got to make sure I order this before I forget. And it says buy one $1.98 each. 30 giant tomato seeds, heirloom, beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy that because I don't need a whole bunch of seeds. And when I get the seeds and grow them out, I do like Food Farmers Permaculture does. I'm going to collect seeds from these tomatoes, and and I'll be able to keep the seeds, giant seeds, in my own stock. So let's see how I want to do this. Do I want to buy one or two? Wait a minute. Oh, I see what they did here. Buy two for $1.49 each. So I don't need $3 worth of seeds. I just need one pack. I don't need two packs. That's 30 seeds. I don't need but and here it is right here. Taxes. Damn, the taxes are zero. The shipping is free. Yeah, I'm gonna order this. And I'm using PayPal to do it because PayPal, if anything happens to the seeds in the mail, I still have coverage to get my money back. Now I'm looking at it, and let me push this button here and say, pay for the seeds. There we go. And it says, thank you. Thank you to eBay Commerce. Uh-huh. There it is. And they're the best seeds I want because I want large tomatoes because I just like growing them for the fun. I like growing them for the fun. Now, the other tomato I like, which is Cherokee Purple because of its flavor. But this giant tomato here is great if you're going to eat a burger. And let's see, I got my pepper seeds. I got my burgundy okra. Now, the reason why I like burgundy okra is because it produces fast. It produces a lot, and it goes on to making out um, okra quick. So I like that. Now the spineless okra is good. Don't get me wrong. Spineless okra has been around with me for a long time. So I'm most likely going to grow both of those. The spineless okra and the burgundy. Now, like I said, with the method that I'm going to use, excuse me, is going to be putting uh, the the plant. Like I said, the grass will be flipped over. I like a lot of roots in the ground when I grow now. I like a lot of roots in the ground. Lots and lots of roots from grass plants, from weed plants. I want the roots in the ground because the roots supply the the ground with the energy from the sun, and it gets um, into the gut. Now what minute you lost me here? You said wow. What did you say wow for? Food five culture. Help me out on that. But I bought, and now I did follow what you said a long time ago. You said it was a tree that I had cut down in my yard, but you said that type of tree and with all the weeds and vines in it, don't mix that up in your soil right now. Let it sit for a year, and that compost has been out there sitting now for um, it's been sitting out there for 2.5 years now, and it's a big pile of just black, completely decomposed plant matter. That's all it is. It looks like black earth. And what I'm going to do is get some of that out. Now I could sift through it. I think I will do that only because I got nothing else better to do, and I got the sifters to do it. Big old square looks like a um, a drawer with the what they call that thing, a fryer. It's like a for French fries. It looks like that, and you just sift the compost through it, and it gets out any imperfections, any large pieces, any of that. It takes it out, and it don't take much time to do it. And you just fill it up with the shovel, shake it down through there, and you get some beautiful black soil matter out of there. Soil is made in layers, and black earth is the best as it is like biomass. Absolutely. Food, fire, permaculture, absolutely correct. I know you know about soil, um, but I tell you what, I said earlier, I don't have the best soil, but I got good soil, uh, but it's not the best. And I know in some parts of the world, the soil is completely loaded with stuff that plants need. But right here in Maryland, uh, I looked up some information, and they say our soil is primarily, in most places, is clay, and um, clay soil has its benefits. It's usually has a lot of nutrients in it, but it's very dense, and some plants have a hard time um, getting their root systems through it. Weeds don't have a problem. Weeds don't have a problem. Grass doesn't have a problem, depending on what type of grass it is. But what I do is when I put on when I put my garden in this year, I'm hoping that I make it bigger than it was the other years. And like I said, I found a way, uh, which is digging up a patch of grass and flipping it over and planting right on top of where the grass roots were. And the tops of the grass are going to be face down in the earth where the biology can get a hold of it easily. And I'm going to sprinkle compost on top of where I'm putting my plants or my seeds on top of um, that that uh, that soil that I flipped over, and it allows me to do less digging because I don't like digging in my soil. I just don't like digging in my soil. One is I'm getting older, and the other thing is I don't want to disturb the soil very much. And what I want to do is flip, like I said, a sod of grass, flip it over, and when I flip it over, plant right on top of where the roots of the grass is. And what will happen is as it lays there on the bottom where all the green is facing down, the grass will decompose, turning into ample amounts of plant food. That's what I want. That's my goal. Now, do I have fertilizer? I bought fertilizer one time and it was a hot mess. Oh my gosh, I learned a lesson from doing that. I bought hundreds of dollars worth of bags of fertilizer that were the fertilizer was all kinds I bought. I bought all kinds of fertilizer. It was organic fertilizer. And they would go from like $7 a bag down to 250, down to $1.95. And I bought all these bags. I bought containers of liquid fertilizer, everything. I bought everything because I bought Dr. Earth. I bought I bought all kinds of fertilizer. Just put it that way. And it was a company out there that was making fertilizer from food scraps. I bought that because I think Home Depot was discontinuing it, and I said I'm gonna buy it. What the heck? It's $1.95 a bag. It was $7. I'm buying it. I bought all these bags, put them in the shed, and when the mice and the rats got into it, let's just say that was the bad part about it because I wasn't aware that rats ate fertilizer like that. I was not aware of that. They went through that stuff. They cut holes in bags and everything. They were just eating it. Big, strong, healthy rats, mice that went into the shed and ate what they wanted. So I said, never again do that unless you have a backup plan on where to put these at. Now, if I had a metal container, but it was so many bags that, I mean, I had hundreds of pounds of that stuff. So I said, don't do that again. Because if you could have locked them all up in a metal container, that would have been fine. They would not be able to get in into it. They would have been able to smell it, but they couldn't get in into it. Um, and I found sales on something that was at Walmart. It was it's a mark. It's a not aftermarket, but it's called a generic brand of what's that that fertilizer everybody usually buys. It's blue in a container. Um, what was it called? A Miracle Grow. Yeah, they got one, and I looked at the ingredients in this other container, Miracle Grow. All the items were exactly like what I wanted. I mean, exactly identical. Um, when you're working with soil, from my understanding, when I've been out there growing for almost 25 years, what I have learned is the less digging that you do in the soil, the better off your soil is. Biology in the soil, that is their home where they live and survive. And there are so many things about soil that we just don't all understand completely. Now, they have experts out there that know a lot about soil, an awful lot about soil, but there's still things they don't know about soil. Um, with when nature made soil and what grows in it, and everything grows perfectly, because only nature is perfect. I used to sit out there in the woods when I was fishing, and I used to look at all of the beautiful, big, huge trees. I used to look at all the vines and weeds and everything growing on top of each other, close to each other, around each other. I used to look at that, and I said, "Look at that! All the weeds are perfectly green. All the trees have plenty of leaves on them. All of the grass is growing where it's supposed to, and everything." And I said, "Nobody comes out here and feed any of this stuff. Nobody comes in and waters it. No one comes in and prunes it. No one comes in there and do anything to it, and it all grows fine. How is that? Because there's a balance, and there's more and other things going on, from the sun to the earth to moisture to barometric pressure. There's so many other things going on. So when I see people now, they take their plants and they grow them in straight little lines, and they till all the soil up, and they go, "Oh, okay." And I'll ask them a question: "How long you been gardening here?" They say, "I've been gardening for about 2 years." I said, "Same spot right here?" "Yep. I just till it up every year and put the plants in." And I know that story because I was one of them, and I used to till up my ground every year. And I started noticing that the soil in those areas where I tilled every year were different. They had less uh, of grass growing in that area. It had less weeds growing in that area. It had a situation where everything was growing, but the soil was, it felt different. It was a different color than the soil around it. Um, and I thought really that I was doing something good when I was tilling up the ground. I was doing something great. I had a quality tiller, and I get down in there 8 inches deep, 6 inches deep, um, till it over multiple times, and then the rain would come, and then the soil would pack down, and we get all these cracks in it. And I said, "Wait a minute, why does this soil look like it's got like a hard shell on top of it?" And I look it up, and they said it was called hard pan. It happens when you are messing with the soil in a way that the soil is being changed because you're putting that tiller on it. And I started reading more and more about people who till and farmers who are trying to produce more crops, but they're trying to do it in a way where they don't have a situation where they're ruining their soil. Regarding the best to you, and say growing your soil, grow your food. All right, thank you so much. No tilling is the best as the microbes are healthy. See that? Food forest food forest permaculture knows all of this soil stuff. He knows it, and I like that because I used to look at his videos and I would see um, some of the things he was getting from his garden, and I said, "Look at that!" And I said, "My apple trees and pear trees, and sometimes my pear tree would produce, and sometimes it wouldn't." And but the apple trees have never really produced anything, and they 4 and 5 years old, and they haven't produced anything yet. But you know what? I can't say that. A couple of the apple trees will grow all these misshapen apples. Thank you very much, Permaculture. Thank you. He said, "Merry Christmas, much love, and mad respect." Thank you. Yeah, because I tell you, they show you the pictures on the packaging when you buy the trees of how beautiful the apples will be that you're growing, how red and pretty they'll be. They'll be better. Some trees take 6 to 7 years. Oh, okay, okay, I got you. Thank you, because I to get fruit. Thank you, because I know something was going on because the trees are healthy as I don't know what. All outdoors they're healthy, but they haven't produced yet. And when they do produce, I got one tree out there. It produces these. I think that's the Granny Smith. It produces this green apple, and it's all misshapen and out of shape. It's not round. And I go, what the heck kind of disease as this apple has? Why are they growing like this? Let's see. Wow, food for permaculture. Okay, because I'm gonna tell you something. I bought the apple trees from Stock Brothers, and here's what I learned: when you buy it from Stock Brothers, don't call there asking for information because they put everything up on the website, all this information. All you gotta do is read all the way through all of it, and you'll see information there that pertains to what you're trying to get an answer to. But the person on the phone, sometimes they're not gonna know what the heck you're talking about. You can say, "What do you mean they're not producing? How long you had the apple trees?" I said, "I had them about 4 or 5 years." Oh, mm, what kind of apple trees do you have? I got Granny Smith, Fuji, and I got Honeycrisp and Granny Smith. Yeah, they should all cross pollinate. Uh, I don't know what to tell you. And you'd be like, "Oh my goodness, he don't know." And you call back again another time, and she don't know. So you're thinking, I hope that these trees do cross pollinate. Um, and that's all. That's all you can say. You hope they do cross pollinate. Because, but I will say this: I love all of the stuff that I'm trying to grow. Now I got my tomato seeds. Let me make sure that I. Okay, let's see. There's a order confirmed. Thank you. Your order was placed. Okay. Dead of winter. I'm getting all these seeds dead of winter because I'm trying to grow something now. Because when the economy get rough, and it's going to get rough, I got a feeling all my seeds will be here. So when everybody starts grabbing towards Walmart and Home Depot for seeds, and Home Depot going to have them marked all the way up, all the way up. And I already have my seeds. I already have my seeds. Plentiful. I want my seeds. I've got to have my seeds. Because We may get a rough 4 years. And let's see. Now there's some seeds I bought one year. These are spinach seeds in the middle. And I got these because spinach is good for you. Crooked neck, yellow squash, I got that. That's 25 seeds for $2. That's still not a bad buy. But they're that price right now on eBay. They're that price now. And they will be much more expensive when, like I said, when the weather starts breaking. You will see those seeds go through the roof. Burgundy, red burgundy okra, 30 seeds. Damn, that's I got paid there for that 30 seeds, $2. That's okay. I now have hundreds of those seeds because I grew them out and I have the seeds. I love it. Now here is thyme, which is a herb, and they got seeds here now. I don't know if I should buy these because I don't know if I should buy these because I might already have these seeds in there in my stash. Yeah, I think I'll go look at my seeds first before I just be buying stuff just for the heck of it because I hate doing that. And then I realize when I buy it, I got hundreds and hundreds of seeds that I already have already. All right, good people. Thank you so much. I'm going to go now. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good day. Red cabbage, 300 plus growing healthy vegetables. I think I still have these seeds. Do you? Green beans, uh, marsh heading, collard greens. Um, and this right here, I already ordered again. It's called zucchini, green zucchini. I already ordered that. Don't need to order any more of that. Hmm. Ah, Here's a pepper here, sweet banana pepper. These are 99 cents for a total of 50 seeds. Ah, hey, how you doing? All right. Let's see, what to say? You're welcome to get fruit. I am just sitting up here talking about getting my garden going in the dead of winter right here in Maryland. And I am excited. I was talking about a lot of different things, soil, getting soil ready, because it is important when you get your soil the way it should be. Based on, oh, okay. Oh, wow. I wonder what the zone is there. Yeah, I'm in zone 7B. That has been changing over the years. It has been changing. The uh, the weather has definitely changed from when I first started planting here 25 years ago. It has changed. Yeah, yeah. It's warm, but it's been getting cold in the winter. We had one winter where it got down to 9 degrees here, and I had an old car. I remember that. I was afraid to go to work in that car, but I went. It would crank up, and I'd get it to work. I had just nothing. Yeah, yeah. You sound. How long you been gardening or farming, I should say? Do you do? I've been doing it for 25 years, and I still have people come around me. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it gets 3 here. Wow. Oh, okay. Gardening for 6 years. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You definitely got some experience behind you. Me, I am a person who likes to do. Uh, this year, I will be able to grow a land. Started building food forest. Okay, that's how you do it. Because I'll tell you something. I think a lot of people are going to be really left stranded when they go to the grocery stores. And right now, I'm growing indoors. See, I wish I had the patience to do that. But I knew I got my stuff set up where I could put my lights on, put my heat mats under my plants, and go from and and deal with it from there. But I don't know if I want to do all that. And then I look at I'm always looking at it's a good deal, but I'm always looking at cost, um, and and certain things I can grow in what they call my warm box down there. I got a warm box. I built it, and all I did is use some shop lights uh and I got the mats, and I even bought the timer for the mat where I could set the temperatures and all. And I said, how much is this costing to run? Uh, and when I was starting the seeds, I was starting them real early. And then sometimes I had these real big plants to take care of before they went outside. And then I had to harden them off. I remember that. And then I said, wait a minute. I saw this one video this lady was doing winter sowing. And when I saw that, I said, I like this idea. When I tried it and saw how it works, I said, I like this because I would put the seeds in there and put the medium in there and leave them out there in the rain, the cold, the snow, and everything. And when it start getting into spring, each day we get a little warmer, and then a little warmer that day, and a little warmer this week. I saw the seeds started popping up. I did that for a few years straight. I said I like this method because it actually works. Um, it's called winter sowing, and it works. And it it's created a situation where I was growing big, strong, healthy plants that I didn't have to spend any electric on. I didn't have to sit around and wonder if I'm watering them too much or too little. I put some holes in the bottom of the containers they were in, so they could, when it would rain, it would rain. It would give them just enough water. It would drip right through the bottom, and I was all set. I learned that that works beautifully. Um, it did what it's supposed to done. Yeah, it did what it's supposed to do, and I was happy about that because um, I wasn't going to Walmart and Home Depot and paying $5 for a plant, a single plant, a pepper plant or something. I could take and sprinkle 6 seeds in the half a gallon jug, sprinkle over top of them some compost that I had screened. I just like to screen it for the heck of it. It don't have to be done, but I did it. And then when I did that, I would get some of the prettiest plants you ever want to see because they were in a container and I could spray in there liquid fertilizer that was real weak when it get to a certain point. Um, I just it was a wonderful deal. I had healthy plants. I paid so little for them that they wasn't even worth mentioning the price. I get 30 seeds for $2, and I grow 6 of them this time around. Grow them out. All the peppers that it would produce when it turned red, I gather the seeds from them, package them up, put the date and the type of seed is on the packaging, and I never went to that guy online and bought any more seeds because I already had a whole nest of seeds where I would just enjoy just growing and eating fresh peppers. Yep, that was just beautiful. And so when the economy drops out, I'm looking at when the economy drops out. I said that twice because it's kind of hard to imagine, but um, fresh stuff. You're gonna have to go. Do I do I have the seeds? Can I go and produce this stuff the right way? Because you're going to pay more attention to it once you get in a situation where you go to the grocery store and you look at what cucumbers cost, what squash costs, what zucchini costs, what watermelons cost, what onions cost. You're going to say, I got to at least try to grow this stuff. And that's how that's going to go. Yep. Oh, perennials. Mostly I grow. Um, oh my goodness, I haven't thought about that. Oh, somebody saying welcome back. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for that. Um, perennials. Um, God, I mean, pepper plants could be perennials if you bring them indoors and uh, before it really gets cold and let them stay indoors and grow and replant them back outside. But perennials is like um, I know I grow my fruit trees. I got those out there. I got blackberries, raspberries. Raspberries did very well. And I learned something about raspberries. If you growing them, if you prune them, they produce more flowers, which will produce more fruit. Because if you just let them just grow on their own, they'll grow a whole bunch of branches and that sort of thing. And you'll say, God darn, they're not producing a whole lot of berries. Because if you have weak soil, your plant's not going to produce that well anyway. Let's see, blackberries, raspberries, these are good. Yeah. The only thing, and I have a blueberry plant in my yard somewhere. Because when I got hurt in the car accident, I did not have the ability to go out there in the yard and do anything. I mean, you should have saw how growed in it was. You should have saw it. It was growed in because the soil was doing what it's supposed to do. Because I laid a whole bunch of 10 inches deep of wood chips all through that back property, and it definitely helped because everything grows back there. Everything grows. It overgrows sometimes. Yeah, it can. Yep, it can get pretty wild. Yep. But the blackberry uh, is it took off and it just kept living. And I said, wait a minute, that's that blackberry. I mean, the blueberry plant. I said, look at it, it's growing, and I'm not feeding it, watering it. I'm not acidifying the soil. I said, well, okay, and I just let it grow. The birds would always know when the berries was ready to be eaten because they would wait until the berries turned blue and they would get them. That's how they would do it. They would come get them. But the blackberries, let me tell you a little story about that. It was a plant that I went through Home Depot, and they had this rack in the back that they put all their plants that was turning brown and that sort of thing. And I looked over at the rack. These were all plants getting ready to go in the trash. And this is how one man was so evil and mean. He knew that they was going all them plants were getting thrown away. He knew that because they didn't even have them in the system anymore. When you went to ring them up, they weren't in the system. And I said, sir, how much for this plant right here? And all of it was brown except for maybe a couple of the bottom leaves were still green. And he said, $1.75. And I said, okay. I was ticked when he said that because I know the plant belonged in the trash. And he said that. I went up to the lady at the counter and he pushed a code in there to enter it back into the system because it wouldn't ring it up because, like I said, it wasn't in the system. And I went home and I was angry because I said, I'm gonna make this plant with all of my knowledge. I'm gonna make this plant a success. I dug a hole, loaded the hole up with. I used to make my own. Well, I still do my own compost out of leaves and grass clippings and weeds, and I pile them up over there, and they would make this pretty black medium. And I loaded that hole up with it and set that plant on top of it, put some around the edges of it, compacted down a little bit, watered it in. And the water I like to use is from my rain barrel systems. That's special water because I'm not paying to put that what they call that. I'm not paying to water those plants every year. I'm not paying that water bill. I said, and it rains every few weeks, and that loads up them water barrels. I got 100 gallons of water stored. It's not real big, but it's still 100 gallons. And I poured that around that plant, and that plant jumped out of the ground. I like to say jump out of the ground, but it didn't actually jump. But it jumped out of the ground, and it was huge. It took off. And before I knew it, it was 18, 20 feet long. And I looked at it, I said, wow, look at this. It was big and it was burly. The stems were. And I said, look at this plant. You can't even tell it's the same plant. You couldn't even tell it was the same plant that was in that store dying because somebody or someone's would not water the plant. And I put it in a home that it just said, it was just saying, thank you so much. You rescued me. And then it started producing these really big, the type of blackberries that it produces, really big blackberries on it, pretty. And at that time, I'd never eaten blackberries, never knew what they taste like or anything. I put it in my mouth and it had these seeds in it, and it was tart and it was sweet. And I said, oh my goodness, I like this. And then I read up information on it, said blackberries were healthy for you and they do this for you and that for you. And I said, oh my goodness. But they said, don't let the plant get away from you because they've been known to take over a property. They will grow. And what they meant by, I found out later, they will grow long and they will bend over, and the tip of it, just the tip, will touch the ground and it will root itself again. And then it'll send up other stems and they will grow up, bend over, and touch the ground and root there. They will walk along the ground covering area. That's what they'll do. And they're strong. I mean, you try to pull them out of the ground, you're not going to do anything but break them off. And they'll still be there in the ground to do what they got to do. So I said, oh my goodness, I got to watch this plant. They say it's best to, some people put them in containers and grow them because, like I said, once they touch the ground, they're going to root right there. I've had this plant now for going on 10 years, and I love it because I know how to control it. As soon as I see one branch getting long, I cut it back to about 4.5 feet. And when I do that, it'll bush out sideways, which in turn produces more berries. And it's got a weird way it grows, where you think, oh, look at all these branches coming out, and they'll be coming out, but they're not going to produce that year. They're going to produce at a later time, but they're not going to produce necessarily that year. But you grow the canes and you cut them off at 4.5 feet, and like I said, they're bush sideways, and you will have lots and lots and lots of berries. Let me tell you something else. If you got a fireplace, you put some of the ashes that grow, I mean the ashes that come from your fireplace or your pellet stove. I got a 50 pound bag down there of ashes from my fireplace. And I'll sprinkle that around the base of the plant. And over the time of winter or whatever, and spring it'll get watered in. And it helps your plants to produce higher numbers of blossoms. Those blossoms, if you look at how many you have on your plant, those are where your fruit coming from. That's where your fruit coming from. Based on what kind of diet you give your plants, you tell your plant what basically we want it to do. If you feed it a lot of nitrogen, you got a lot of green growth, lots of green growth. If you feed it potassium, you get a certain response from the plant. And so plants do what you put into them. That's what you get out of them. Watering them is important. A lot of people run into issues with watering their plants, and that's where they lose plants. That's where they don't get productivity from their plants because of how they're watering. And watering matters. It's like if you get ready to pick a watermelon and you water it up real good the day before you pick it. That watermelon might not be sweet because the flavor will get diluted when it drinks all that water. But if you wait about a few days after you water it and then pick it, it's going to be sweeter, more concentrate. Same thing with tomatoes. Because you get a tomato that tastes like it don't have any flavor to it. If you water it and then the next day you go ahead and um, pick the tomato and cut it up and everything, it's going to be good, but it will be better if you wait about 2, 3 days before you pick it and let it get concentrated in there with its own flavor. And you go ahead and pick it at that point. Growing fruit is very rewarding. Absolutely. I used to have some of the prettiest peaches on my tree, and I got those peaches from a. Let me tell you a little story about that. They came from a used to be online, and they ruined their business. They sold fruit trees for $9.95. Little skinny little things, smaller, round, sometimes than a pencil would be, and they would sell you these trees. Well, I knew the value of a tree. I said it'll still grow, and sometimes the smaller ones will grow better than one you buy that's already 2, 3 years old. But what I would do is I would get the little trees, and I bought one. I said I want a Bartlett pear, and it came to the house. It had one single root on it that long, skinny little root, and I stuck it in the ground. I was mad. I was upset. Folks, I do get mad sometimes, and I stuck it in the ground. Oh, okay. I'm looking at what you wrote here, and you're saying basically you have about 150 growing days. That is excellent. We don't know in Maryland. We do not have that. We have to grow crimson sweet, and sugar baby because they only about 75, no, it's about 78 days to maturity. Um, and then they got these giant melons. They sell the seeds here. I don't know why they sell the seeds here in Maryland. They take 110 days. Well, these are watermelons that get up to about close to 70 pounds. Nobody wants to eat them. They're just great for exhibition to grow them for that. But you can't eat them. I mean, you can eat them, but they're not really good. They're not grown for that. They grow to show off and say, "Look what I did." That's what they're good for. That's what they're good for. They don't grow anything. Yeah, I want to start. And I got to tell you, we have to do everything we can here in Maryland to get our plant started early. A lot of people, here's what they do: they go to the store and buy expensive uh, seedling plant, like I said, $5 a piece, $6 a piece. Then you got plants you can buy like a um, raspberry plant. They want $21 for that. Little teeny little thing, little tiny little thing, and they give you that and take you 2 years to start getting that straight. Um, so you got that going. You got blackberries, the same thing, $21 to get that plant. What I do is I wait to the end of the year. I go up to Lowe's, end of the year. I mean, end of the year. And and that's a big if they have some left, I go ahead and buy what I want. They'd be $2, $3 a piece, the plants. I said, excuse me, sir. And it's a certain way you go about getting it. But you go up to them and you say, I'm interested in buying this plant here and this one here and this one here. And by that time, they're kind of brown and been neglected, and not taken care of. Because those days of taking care of them, it's over much, pretty much. So the seed companies know they don't just come up and pick up just the pots and the medium that's there. They try to save a little money like everybody else. So I'll go get these plants like I did at the Home Depot, drop them in there, put all this compost on them, water from the rain barrel system, water them down, and walk away from it. Because the crime going to be that somebody actually got all these big pretty berries off of this plant that was in the store dead almost because nobody watered it. And then I brought it back. And when I brought it back hard. I brought it back hard. I said, nope, this plant gonna live. And that's how you do it. I brought it back. And people go, well, how did he do all that? He's eating, he's got all these big baskets of squash and baskets of zucchini that he's eating, and he's chopping up onions. He's got all this garlic growing because I mean to do it. I don't mean to be wasting time. And when I first started doing it, everybody laughed. Everybody made fun of it. Because these are inner city people. They laugh because they're like, oh my God, why don't he just go to the grocery store and buy that stuff? And they see me out there hauling and stuff. Like when I first started out, I would go buy bags of compost and cow manure. And I said, wait a minute. I started getting real particular. Where did this cow manure come from? Who is the person who fed and these cows? Who took care of their medical attention? What kind of drugs or hormones or whatever they stuck in this cow? Okay, how come when I call um, those companies that produce the cow manure for your garden, how come they can't tell me in writing, have this cow ever had hormone shots? Have this cow ever had certain other medications? They won't get involved in that because they don't want to put down anything on the paper that's legal that they can get caught up in. So when I heard that, and I would call and ask the company to call me back and get in touch with me and let me know what's in this cow manure. Where the cows come from, y'all getting this manure from? Nobody wanted to get caught up with answering that question. So I said, okay, forget it. Let me stop buying this cow manure. Let me stop for $5 a bag, 40-pound bag. I said, let me stop buying this. I said, what's the best thing I can get? Second, that would do better for my garden. And it was those very leaves that my neighbors were throwing away. And those leaves were black gold. And I would take those leaves, and I'd get me a cup of red wigglers, and I dump them in the pile of leaves and let them boys get in there, get to producing and get to eating and producing and eating and producing. And when I go fishing, I reach in that pile with a shovel or what they call that thing, a pitchfork, and I'd grab a big pile of that and take out all the worms I wanted to go fishing with, and the worms are just. I took 12 worms, dumped them in there, and they came back to thousands of worms that was in that pile. And then sometime when I fish with the Canadian night crawlers, if you know what that is, I fish with those. I dumped them in there, and they were everywhere, big, but they were at the lower part of the pile. They like the lower part as opposed to the top. And so I learned how they eat. And I said, look at the size of these worms. Some of them were so big. When I went to pick them up, I thought they were like baby snakes. I'd reach in there and draw my hand back, and I would say, wait a minute. I said, oh, that's just one of them night crawlers I threw in there. Look how big it is. And that's all I could say. Look how big it is. Yep. And that was a wonderful thing to be able to grow like that. Now, oh, and corn. They got a corn that you grow in your garden called peaches and cream. That is some of the sweetest corn I've ever eaten. I mean, I was out in the yard eating it right off the plant. Never cooked it, never did anything to it. It was that good. It was that good, eating it right off the plant. Big, pretty. But the only thing about corn, some people grow it better than others because they actually understand the nature of how corn grows. I just put it out there to see what it would do, and it grew well. Yep. All right, good people, that's me. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll do it again very soon. Keep your ears open. You can subscribe to my channel if you want to know when I do this again, because I'll do it again, Lord willing. Thank you very much and have a good day. Yep, that is the way it works.